Alright, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to start working on another truck. This is my brother-in-law's 89 Chevy. We think it was a C1500. We believe it was a two-wheel drive truck originally. Somebody has converted it to four-wheel drive and has a 10-bolt front axle in it, 12-bolt rear. It's on 38 by 15.5 Nitto mud grapplers. It's been repainted. Looks quite nice, but we have it's got the turbo 350. We think we're not super great on our domestic transmissions, but we're pretty sure it's turbo 350. It's got a Chevy 350 throttle body injected on it, cowl hood, some aftermarket headlights. Tires are basically brand new. Super clean. AC works. Factory Chevy bench seat, blue interior. Super comfy to ride in. Single cab short bed. So we're pretty excited to get working on this. We do have a list of things to start fixing on it. Our shackle angles are pretty terrible. You might be able to see this. They're darn near vertical. Somebody set this thing up for height and not ride quality. Those shackles in the front are inverted. We've got a tie rod rubbing in the front on the tire a little bit. That tie rod up there is like rubbing the tire. You can see the line it's making in the tire, so we got to fix that pretty quick. We've got a bad U-joint on this side. We don't like the steering stabilizer mount. It's kind of putting a lot of pressure on that bushing. Brake lines are kind of floating loose against the frame. Lockout dial is incorrectly reading because it's offset. We're going to have to get a front drive shaft made. We're going to have to modify the front cross member to accommodate the drive shaft. We're pretty confident that it's not going to clear these tubes somebody welded in. So we've got a little bit of fixing to do. Needs rear view mirror. Read my list here. We're going to be double checking, like waterproofing the intake and stuff, making sure the battery's tied down right. That's about it. That's most of the main stuff in the moment. We're probably going to lose these like traction bars. They're not really doing a whole lot for this truck. They're not mounted far enough from the axle, we don't think, and there's no real point. But that's kind of the quick walk around. I think the first thing today we're going to start addressing is what, he's got something else to show us. Oh yeah, we got some beefier ones if we're going to run them. You intend to run them? Okay. So I guess they're going on. The thing we're going to address today, to kind of kick off this series, is the transfer case shifter is not hooked up. There's a singular shaft sticking through the floor. We've got a boot. It's cut so badly we're confident this was a two-wheel drive truck. I'll go show you guys what the underneath looks like. Alright, here we're under the truck. There's two levers unhooked. This one goes that arm up there. We already confirmed that moving this lever forward and back engages four-wheel drive. We're pretty sure this one's high, low range. We're going to hook both of these back up, get new pins in them, and then we're going to work on making a shifter rod inside the cab. So we'll go dig out some C-clips and get this hooked up. Alright, under the truck we hooked up both those levers, put some little clips in them, like hitch pin style clips, and then up inside the cab we used the pliers and stuff, pliers and hammer, move this forward and back, and it's engaging both of those levers correctly underneath the cab. So we're working on making a new shift lever for this. It was kind of hacked together and cut apart, so we're not able to get bolts and stuff in this. We've come up with a way we're going to do it. So we dug through the scrap bin and found this piece. It's like 3/16, I don't know, inch and a quarter wide. We like the length of it. We're going to take a wheel stud we found. We're going to cut a slit in it to slip this up in there, and then we can weld the stud to this. And then I found an old Hurst shifter handle I had laying around, and it's tapped out to except this stud. So we're gonna weld these two together, then we're just gonna weld this shaft to the shifter in the truck. We'll still be able to get the handle off if you ever need to take the transfer case out, and if he wants to do a different handle, he'll just have to retap it to this thread, but that's not a big deal. So we're gonna go ahead and get this ground out and get this welded together. All right, we're in the truck now. Kevin's fixing to weld this thing. We just got a bunch of towels and moving blankets on the floor, trying not to mess up this pristine Chevy bench seat. So hopefully you'll get a decent enough view of the weld.
Okay, ready?
Yeah, the view's about as good as it's ever gonna get. She's burning. That went pretty good.
Yeah, it did.
That's some chaotic footage, but can't do much better. Put the shifter boot back on. A little wonky looking. Better than no boot. Got the Hurst shifter on there. Looks okay. I think that's where we're going to leave it on this upgrade. Only other thing we accomplished real quick was unbolted the face of the lockout dial and switched it around so now it actually reads correctly and points at the correct thing. We're having a little bit of concern over steering stabilizer. We actually pulled it out because the bolt on this end is that direction and the bolt on this end is vertical. So we're going to drive it without it and see how it handles. That may be one of the next things we kind of address. Plus we know for a fact that that U-joint in the front driver's corner is shot on the axle shaft, so that'll be getting replaced pretty soon. But for now, we're going to leave it at that for this the introduction of the 89 Chevy converted to four-wheel drive mud truck, whatever you want to call it. We'll do some more work on it in the future, but it's a Sunday today and we're tired of working, so we're going to leave it at that.